9 Astra Skies Chapter 1, Lianyuan 18 Fort Snail Sci-Fi Transformation. At first it is a bit uncomfortable, but the back is more and more exciting. This is definitely a different fantasy. Please support us a lot. In the 8th year of the Zaiwo calendar, when the times were chaotic, the human life was like a mustard, and the king was separated. Emperor Mingyu enthroned, repressed the 3 rebel squadrons, murdered Yingyi, and Yuzhong was one of the Qing. Donglan County in the middle of the Cebu Empire, deep in the Lianyuan Mountains, towering trees, steep mountains, deep forests, and 18 rock-built fortresses. These fortresses stand tall and do not know the former people. How much energy was used to move a piece of boulder from the outside to build these majestic buildings? 18 castles, each of which is home to a group of people of the same ancestry, known as Lianyuan 18 Fort, is a small and famous force in Donglan County. Yejiabao played the battlefield. The morning sun is projected through the gap between the 2 mountains in the distance. It is just dawning, and it is already crowded. Road, Chin can make up, the morning sun rises, it is the most active day in the day. If you practice hard at this time, you can get twice the result with half the effort. A strong middle-aged man is teaching one helping teenagers to practice martial arts. Yejiabao is home to thousands of Leaf family members. There are also 200 or 300 teenagers who are suitable for practicing martial arts from the age of 10 to 18. These teenagers stand in a square array, practice boxing, and the fists are crisp and neat. Do not move like a mountain, move like a thunder. To defeat the enemy, the first word is to be fast, the world of martial arts, but not to break. Our Ye family's martial arts, pay attention to it, is the word fast. The middle-aged man practiced a set of boxing methods, and he was born with a sneak peek. When he punched, he was faintly carrying the sound of the thunder. This is the home of the Ye family. The unique boxing method is matched with the thundering inner strength of the Ye family. Wei Meng is known. The hunting style brought by Lei Ming's internal strength, which made these teenagers' cheeks hurt, like a knife cut. They all quit 2 feet away. 3 uncles are amazing. That is, of course, San Shu is now the 3rd person of Ye family, and his strength is second only to his family and law enforcement. They all cast a reverent look at the middle-aged. This middle-aged man is called Ye Zhanxiang, who is responsible for teaching the family's descendants, and has a high reputation among the family. The teenagers on the field burst into a burst of cheers, and Ye Zhanxiang's wonderful boxing method made the teenagers dazzled. The crowd is about 100 feet away. A young man is sitting on a stone in the corner of the martial arts field. He closes his eyes and sits like a statue of Buddha. The morning sun shines on him, but he does not enter his heart. He is only 17 or 8 years old, his body is long, his facial features are like a knife, his long eyebrows are like a sword, his nose is like a duck, and his hair is booming. However, his look between the eyebrows has a calm and concentration that is not consistent with his age. The young boy is named Ye Chen. I don't know that it is already the first time. Whenever he breathes in according to the method of thunder and inner strength, the mysterious air that gathers quickly disappears in the broken meridians, and his body can't save any mystery. The 2 family children walked by and saw Ye Chen, who was sitting still, showing a look of disdain. He has tried his best to condense his mystery, and he still pretends here every day. Losing him to use so many medicinal herbs every day, if those medicinal drugs are given to other people, I don't know how many family cultivators can be trained, and he is fed to the dog's stomach. If I am him, I have long been jumping into the river is self-sufficient, and there is still a face to live. Small, he is the son of the patriarch after all. What happened to the son of the patriarch, and our Yejiazi ancestors have always been noble, and he is a little more expensive. The 2 family children deliberately said loudly, and fell in Ye Chen's ear. Ye Chen closed his eyes and turned a deaf ear. He endured hard and laughed at himself. If he changed himself to his former self, he would definitely rush. I played with them, but now he has learned to be patient. Now, he is just a waste person, not the opponent of these two people. In the past, Ye Chen, at the age of 12, reached the 5th stage of Suankai. At the age of 13, he reached the 6th stage of Suankai. At the age of 14, he reached the 6th stage of Suankai. He was the first master of the younger generation of Yejiabao. Yejiabao has a rare genius in 100 years. Later, in a family mission, Ye Chen and 5 younger generations of the family entered the depths of the Lianyuan Mountains to hunt the monsters. The result was ambushed, and the 5 young family masters were wiped out. Those enemies seemed to be deliberately torturing Ye Chen, and his meridians were exhausted. Although they were saved by the tribes, from then on, Ye Chen became a waste. In the Cebu Empire, the strength is respected, and those without strength can only be bullied. If it is not because the morning is full of energy, it is most suitable to restore the meridians, he is not willing to come to such a crowded place. It has been 3 years since I turned my eyes. I am afraid that my meridians will no longer heal. Ye Chen has a deep unwillingness in his heart. He is not willing to become a waste person. Ye Chen continued to try to condense Suankai, but there is no doubt that it still failed. The broken meridians in the body, like the dead wood that was hollowed out by insects, did not have a trace of vitality. He sat on the stone, as the old man settled, sinking his mind into the sea of consciousness. In the sea of consciousness, an image of a flying knife emerges. This flying knife is blood red, thin like a flap, and crystal clear. Because of the existence of this flying knife, there are always some hopes in his heart that have not completely shattered. Ye Chen was just an ordinary person. He accidentally found this flying knife and crossed the world. So far he still doesn't know what the role of the flying knife is. Whenever his mind sinks into the sea of consciousness, he will find that it is so quietly suspended in consciousness. No matter what method Ye Chen uses, he can't touch it. For 3 years, from the peak of the fall, the average person cannot bear such a gap, but Ye Chen still relies on his strong character, in the ridicule of countless people, and stole it. In the past 3 years, Ye Chen has smoothed down. The edges and corners of the body have become much calmer. Ye Chen thundered the inner strength, a hint of heat in the lower abdomen, a mysterious condensed up, slowly running along the meridians, but each time running to the broken meridians, these mysterious gas will quickly scatter. It didn't take long for the mysterious gas that was finally condensed to be ruined. Damn, why can't you get rid of it? Ye Chen slammed his fist on the stone, and the blood on his fist oozes red blood. Only severe pain can alleviate the inner depression and pain. Is he destined to be a life in this life? Is it a waste? When the strength of the previous peak, he broke through one after another at a very amazing speed, the body is like a whirlpool, madly absorb the aura of the outside world, quickly transform into a mysterious, the 6th order peak. His mysterious strength can even compete with the 7th order master. Now, his body wants to save even a trace of mystery, it has become extremely difficult. Ye Chen has only calmed down the depressed mood for a long time. He has no retreat. If he gives up, he will be a waste person in his life. As usual, sink your heart and continue to condense the mystery. About a column of fragrant martial arts, the break of the meridians has a slight sense of temperament, but it is extremely subtle and will disappear at any time. Ye Chen slammed and ran a trace of sweat on his forehead. Finally, those temperament slowly condensed into a trickle, centering on the small belly, and moving upwards, but each time a small distance, these Suankai will lose a few points, and it will be lost. Never fail. The mysterious gas that was finally condensed is about to collapse. Ye Chen seems to feel some kind of strange call. The heart suddenly calms down and enters a strange realm. The heart seems to have a breeze blowing, the air is clear, there is no dust. Read. Ye Chen's mind once again showed the shape of the flying knife, and the flap-like blade suddenly gave off a strange humming sound. This flying knife contains some strange power, so that Ye Chen wants to find out. It brought itself to the world, and I don't know what secrets there are in the knife. In recent times, flying knives often vibrate regularly, and the frequency of vibration is very frequent. Ye Chen desperately extended his own ideas, want to touch the flying knife, want to try to see if you can spur the flying knife. Suddenly, there was a loud noise in my mind. Ye Chen's eardrum kept vibrating, just like something blasted in my mind. A huge force burst out from the flying knife, like a raging the flood, rushing along the broken meridians. The mysterious air that Ye Chen couldn't easily condense, was instantly dispersed. Ye Chen was horrified to find that this power was completely out of control. He quickly pulled his mind back, and that power disappeared without a trace, as if it had never appeared before. What happened? Ye Chen opened his eyes, the body collapsed in general, without a little strength. He gasped with a big mouth, looked at the body, the broken meridian still did not improve. The flying knife hovered quietly in his mind. The power just had some similarities with Suankai, but it seemed to be more powerful and it was mysterious. Ye Chen suddenly felt itchy on his hands and looked down. He was surprised to find that his hands were covered with a thin layer of dander, and the dandruff was rubbed off, and his hands were like a reborn. Crystal clear, bright red, and pink, like a newborn baby. I didn't expect it to just trigger the power of the flying knife, but it has such an effect. Ye Chen's heart is slightly stunned. This flying knife is really amazing. He wants to continue to explore it in depth, but if he thinks about it, he will wait until the night is quiet. After teaching a group of children, Ye Zhanxiang held his hand and his eyes swept over a group of teenagers who resumed morning exercises. They fell on Ye Chen in the corner of the martial arts field. They couldn't help but sigh with a sigh, and they looked very sad. If Ye Chen did not encounter an ambush, nowadays, it may have been above him and become the first genius of the younger generation of the family. In the future, he can take on the responsibility of guarding the family, but unfortunately, he is talented. In fact, Ye Chen's personality, he still likes it a lot. In the past few years, his character has been a lot of stability. If it is not the meridian, it will become a big weapon in the future. People are elusive. Silence for a moment. Ye Zhanxiang went to Ye Chen. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. 9 Astra Skies Chapter 2, Intermittent Dan? Seeking recommendation. Chen, if you are tired, go back to rest early. If you can't break it, don't force the mystery to run. It's important to recuperate. Ye Zhanxiang, in his opinion, the meridians have been unable to return to the sky unless they can find it. Intermittent Dan treatment of Ye Chen's injury, but intermittent Dan is too precious, even if the financial resources of Ye Xia, but also cannot buy a broken Dan. 3 uncles, I don't believe that I have been a waste person in my life. I feel that my meridians will be able to recover. Ye Chen said firmly. When I heard Ye Chen's words, Ye Zhanxiang paused, and his heart burst into pain. He touched Ye Chen's head and smiled hard. Good boy, whether you are a meridian, 3 uncles, and leaves. Home is your solid backing. Yeah. Ye Chen nodded. In the past 3 years, although his meridians have been tried, only a few ethnic groups have laughed at him. Others have been extremely good at him. Even at the expense of the family, they have spent countless remedies. Help him warm the meridians, waiting to find a broken Dan to continue his meridians. When you have time, go see your father. Ye Zhanxiang sighed. Thinking of his father, Ye Chen's heart was slightly hurt. In the past 3 years, in order to treat Ye Chen, his father withstood tremendous pressure and had a lot of white hair on his head. It seems that he is old and he is very embarrassed to his father. I will. Ye Zhanxiang went back and continued to teach a group of young martial arts. Ye Chen was sitting on the stone, and his heart was full of flavors. Being stunned, A crisp voice rang in Yechen's ear and pulled Yechen back to reality. What is Yechen's brother thinking about? There was a hint of playfulness in the voice. Yechen turned his head. A beautiful face appeared in front of his eyes. Is a 15 or 6-year-old girl, looking at Yechen with a smile. She is wearing a light purple dress, eyebrows exquisite, binocular it is like a clear water, beautiful appearance, skin like jade, like a clear ice and snow. A faint scent of the girl's fragrance made people feel relaxed and happy. Seeing the girl in front of her eyes, Yechen's heart raised a faint love. How come you come here? Is Yechen's brother not welcoming me? The girl smiled. I haven't said that, but I rarely see you playing the battlefield. Yechen couldn't help but smile, and he was the only one who could talk freely. Whether the nephew is surnamed Ye, her son is her real name or a nickname, Yejiabao has no one to know, and no one knows who Yehao's parents are. It is said that Yehao was fostered by others in Yejiabao. When he was a child, Yehao was a child of the same age because he had no father and no mother. He was often bullied by some children of the same age, and Yechen was very mature at the time. She was guarded by leafhoppers and treated Yehao as her sister. From then on, Yehao stuck to Yechen. Until those children grew up, Yehao grew from an ugly head to a big beauty. At the time, those guys who bullied Yehao were regretful. Even if they did more, they could not change their minds in yes yet. The image. Yehao maintains a certain distance from other family members. Usually, she rarely plays a place like the Vuchang. When she faces Yechen, she will unload her defense. Although Yechen's meridians are broken, her relationship with Yechen is more intimate. In the distance, a group of children saw Yechen and Yewei standing together, and they all showed a sly look. Every time they talked with Yehao, Yehao would smile kindly, but wanted to chat further. Yehao, the elegant temperament, will always give people a feeling of rejection. The playful smile that Yehao rarely reveals makes them feel awkward, and the fish are falling, but this is true. Everyone has an unreal feeling, as if in a dream. It has been 3 years in a blink of an eye. Yehao's voice was soft, and there was an indescribable sentiment. Her gaze fell on Yechen's cheek. The teenager who was once angry was flattened by years and frustrations. During the period, Yehao tried countless methods to help Yechen recover the meridians, but all failed. Yeah, it's been 3 years. Yechen showed a bit of self-deprecating smile. No one knows how he came over in the past 3 years. Yechen's brother should not give up on himself. The meridians do it, and there is no hope at all. At least the uncles are thinking of ways. They will find ways to restore your damaged meridians. Yehao comforted Yechendeo. If the damaged meridians are so easy to recover, my father has helped me to recover, and I will drag it to the present. 3 years, is there hope? Yechen sighed. He was already a waste, surrounded by, but there are still so many people who care about themselves, so that he can't help but be ashamed. He really wants to do something for the people around him, but unfortunately he can't do anything, even dragging them down. Yechen's only hope is that the flying knife in his mind. Yechen's brother once said that Huang Tian pays off. If you do your best, you must find a broken Dan for Yechen's brother and help Yechen's brother to recover the meridians. Yehao's clear eyes flashed a little firm. Intermittent Dan can continue the meridians for the meridians, and can cure the wounds of Yechen. Intermittent Dan is a treasure that can be made by the drug lord. Even if you dump the financial resources of Ye family, you can't buy it, and you will get it so easily. Yechen smiled bitterly and wanted to get a broken Dan. It's easy to talk about it. In this world, medicinal herbs are very precious things. Even the lowest level gas Dan can sell 52 silver, which is equivalent to the ordinary people's home for several years to eat and wear, let alone the drug-made production. Continued Dan. A broken Dan is at least equivalent to tens of thousands of gas Dan. Even if Yejiabao arrived, it cannot be replaced by an intermittent Dan. In the 3 years of the meridian, Ye Chen used more than 10 gas gatherings to warm the meridians every day. Rao was the home of Ye family, and could not withstand such consumption, and even sold many ethnic industries. In the past 2 years, Ye Jiabao has gradually become less and less in the Lianyun 18 fort. It has gradually become a bit green and yellow. If it is still like this, Ye Jiabao is in the Lianyun 18 fort, I am afraid it will break into the end. Even so, the father and the majority of the ethnic groups in the family have no complaints, and they have a concern for Ye Chen. Such a great grace, Ye Chen has no teeth. The past Ye Chen was an orphan, and now, Ye Chen first found the feeling of home. Ye Jiabao is his home. Ye Chen himself has tried countless methods and wants to restore the broken meridians, but all failed. The only hope is to bring him to the flying knife of this world. Recently, the flying knife has been trembling from time to time, which makes Ye Chen see a glimmer of hope. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. Chapter 3, Father Ye Sister, I did not expect you to come to the military field. Just when Ye Hao and Ye Chen talked, a teenager of the same age came over. Ye Kajian is considered to be a young talent in Ye Jiabao. Among the younger generations of Ye Jiabao, 3 people reached the 5th order peak, and only 1 line could enter the 6th order. They were the daughters of Ye Shu, who was the uncle of Ye Shuxian, Ye Hao, and Ye Kajian. Although Ye Kajian cannot be compared with the original Ye Chen, it is also very talented. Handsome looks, in addition to family life, he is the son of Ye Jiabao's elders. The elders in Ye Jiabao's position is second only to the patriarch and a few others. Ye Hao said with a voice, there are outsiders coming. Her look has returned to a cold. Ye Hao's attitude made Ye Kajian's face look a little unsightly. Ye Kajian glanced at Ye Chen, and there was a trace of disdain in his eyes. He didn't understand what Ye Chen's kid had in the end. Ye Chen used to be a genius, but now already a waste person. Ye Hao in the end to see Ye Chen what? Ye Chen big brother does not come too innocent. Recently the body is better. Ye Kajian looked at Ye Chen, although so, the mouth is flashing a trace of disdain. Before Ye Chen Suankai was abolished, Ye Kajian was almost obedient to Ye Chen. Ye Chen was 2 or 3 months older than Ye Kajian. Ye Kajian became a lover of Ye Chen, and he was very affectionate. Ye Chen also taught Ye Kajian. After a few things, after Ye Chen's meridians were abolished, Ye Kajian didn't even look at it, letting Ye Chen really understand what is called human nature. Ye Chen is born and proud, and others will not come. He will not sneak up and be laughed at. Only when you are down, will you recognize who is your true friend. It's not bad, can eat and sleep. Ye Chen faintly replied, although the situation is worrying, but he is still free and easy. It seems that someone's life is still quite comfortable. But they are patriarchs, but they are really sinned. In order to collect the gas, Dan is gray, but he feeds the white-eyed wolf. Ye Kajian's eyes were slightly stunned and glanced. Ye Chen said, it is said that Donglan County king got an intermittent Dan. After the patriarch knew it, he rushed to the Donglan County Wangfu 2 days ago to seek medicine from Donglan County Wang, even at the Donglan County. Oh, but it was bombarded by Donglan County. If you want to come to such a heavy treasure, how can Donglan County Wang give away people at will? Unfortunately, the hero of the patriarch Yan Taihan, actually squats for medicine, and now it has been passed down by Donglan County. Laughing stock. What do you say? Ye Chen's heart sank, he knew nothing about it, and his father and brother did not mention this matter to him. Ye Kajian, don't say it again. Ye Hao looked anxious and snorted. This matter, Ye Jia's uncles and uncles specifically explained, cannot let Ye Chen know, did not expect Ye Kong Yan Yang to yin, and said everything. Ye Chen's heart trembled, looking back at Ye Hao, his voice hoarse and lowly asked, hey, is this thing true? From Ye's reaction, this thing is true, Yechen can't help himself. After a while, his father actually pleaded for him to squat, and his father was a patriarch of the family. He could imagine the humiliation of his father's heart. "Why don't you tell me?" The patriarch secretly made a lot of things for him. In order to give him a collection of gas and dan when to raise the meridians, Yejiabao almost spent decades of savings. He dragged Yejiabao into the present. "If I was the same waste person as him, I would have been killed for a long time." Yekajian snorted. "You guys are still so good to him, I just can't see it." Yechen thought that he was very bitter in his heart, but in fact his father was more bitter than him. The little grievances he received were nothing compared to what his father had done. Yechen eyes panic acid, strong to resist the tears that are about to burst out. "Father, child is not filial, let you suffer," the child swears, in his lifetime, if the child can restore the mysterious, set the whole Donglan County Wangfu, wash the snow you suffer humiliation. Yechen brother, don't listen to him talking about it, there is nothing at all. Yehao looked anxiously at Yechen. Everyone worried that Yechen would not think about it after knowing this. "Do not worry, I will not look for short-sightedness. If you encounter such a setback, you will find a short-sighted person. That is the real coward." Yechen clenched his fist and nailed his nails deep into the flesh. "For example, living is the greatest courage." Yehao's eyes flashed with tears. "Yechen's brother, I have no parents since I was a child, you are my only relative, you must have nothing. Some people are really cheeky." Yekajian sneered. Yechen looked up and stared at Yekajian. He said, "I know that you still have a great elder. They want me to die early, but I tell you, I will never find it so easily, even if I am doing it now. And how, I can know that I have been a waste in my life. I don't believe that this waste has a day of turning over in this life. Let the patriarchs go to the Donglan County Wangfu for medicine. Do you think Donglan County King will give you such a heavy treasure like Broken Dan? Don't dream in the day." Yekajian sneaked and smiled. "You will only drag the family. You can do it yourself." Yekajian took a sip and sneered and turned away. "Yechen brother, don't listen to him." Seeing Yekajian left, Yehao rushed to the ground, although Yechen said that she would not find short-sightedness, but she was still very worried. "I will go back first." Yechen shook his head and turned to walk outside the military field. Looking at the back of Yechen's desolate, Yehao's heart hurts. Yejiabao, outside the home of the family. The main hall of the house is very magnificent, but it has not been repaired in these years. The outer walls are eroded by wind and rain, and there is more or less degraded taste. The trees in the courtyard have not been trimmed for a long time, and they grow wildly. At the peak of Yejiabao, it was ranked second in Lianyun 18 fortune. There were 20 or 30 gardeners in the house of the family. But then the gardeners were all quit, and the family's outside industry was also 10 to 5. On the bluestone steps at the entrance of the main house, Yechenai slammed down and slammed a few heads in the direction of Yezantian's residence. The blood on his forehead was still unaware. "Father, the child is not filial, you are wronged." Yechen was hoarse, and his heart was sour. Yechen secretly vowed that if he had a lifetime, he would be able to restore his strength and be sure to reinvigorate Ye family and live up to the grace of his father and several uncles. The main house hall. A middle-aged man in a grey robe sighed for a long time. He was calm and steady. He just stood there casually. He was like a singer, but his face was a little old, and between the two, some white hair. This person is the Ye family leader Ye Zhantian. "Big brother, don't you go out and have a look." One person next to him said that he was a little younger than Ye Zhantian. He was one of Ye Zhantian's many brothers, called Ye Zhanlong. Ye Zhantian has 3 brothers, 2 brothers who are at the turn of the 8 worships, 6 people by age. Ye Zhantian ranks the boss, Ye Zhanlong ranks the second child, is the law enforcement master, Ye Zhanxiang ranks the third, the other three are outside, responsible for the family peripheral affairs. Ye Chen Gang went to the home of the house, and Ye Zhantian and Ye Zhanlong had already noticed it. When I have a face to see Chen Er, these years, I have suffered this child. When I passed away, I had already confessed to me. I have to take care of Chen Er, but I have not fulfilled my father's responsibility at all. I have a strong opinion, and I don't even want to call me a father. I know that he is resentful of me. Now I am doing it, I just hope that I can compensate him. Although Ye Zhantian did not go out, he always pays attention to Ye Chen. To Ye Chen shouted out the father's two words, Ye Zhantian could not help but shed tears, and Chen Er finally told me to call a father. Big brother, Chen Er is very sensible and very strong. I don't believe that God will always play tricks on him. Even if he tries his best, we have to help him find a broken den. Ye Zhanlong's tone is resolutely authentic, his eyes flashing a trace of coldness. Donglan County King's humiliation of our Ye family, one day, let them double the repayment. The thing of Donglan County King, this is the end. Donglan County King is the canonized king of the county, and his men are only 19 level masters. There are 17 of them, with 100,000 troops, and there is also a backstage in the DPRK. Our Ye family can't be their opponents. They can only knock their teeth and swallow their stomachs. Now I just want to cure Ye Chen, even if I am reluctant, I will be willing to provoke the right and wrong. Ye Zhantian shaking his head, even if the old man came back, Ye Jia's strength is far better than that of Donglan County's Wangfu. After these years of tracing, I already know who was hurting Chen Er, even if I try my best, I will for Chen Er to get back to justice. Ye Zhantian flashed a glimpse of a sudden decision. The wind whistling, Ye Chen lingered for a while. He did not want to become the burden of Ye Jiabao. If there is any chance for him to restore the broken meridians, he is willing to pay any price. With a bang, the flying knife in my mind suddenly trembled, and the flying knife reacted again. Ye Chen was shocked. Recently, the flying knife always vibrated from time to time, and this time the reaction seems to be more intense than before. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. 9 Astra Skies Chapter 4, Juxing Tian Chen returning from his father. Ye Chen returned to his place of residence. The furnishings in the room were very simple. There was nothing but a bed and cabinet made of wood. The flying knife has a kind of connection with him, just like communicating some messages, which makes Ye Chen feel a little scared. Is this flying knife still a kind of living thing? It has its own consciousness. Although a little scared, but Ye Chen quickly calmed down. Even if anything happens, his situation is not likely to be worse than now. What is he afraid of? Ye Chen sat down on the bed and quickly entered the state of meditation, trying to touch the flying knife with consciousness. The brilliance of a strand of red circling on the flying knife, it is suspended in the sky above the sea of consciousness, like the sun, shining. Time passed quickly, and an hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours, the reaction of the flying knife became more and more intense. Boom! A majestic energy rushed out from the flying knife. In front of this powerful energy, Ye Chen's own mysteriousness is like a river, a small river. This energy rushed along the broken meridians of Ye Chen. Although it was scattered a lot, it was still amazing. The heart seemed to have been hit hard. Ye Chen wowed a spurt of blood, his hands supported on the edge of the bed, and gasped for a big mouth. A terrible energy. Ye Chen thought with horror, even when his strength was at its peak 3 years ago, the condensed mystery could not compete with this energy. The purity of this energy is far above the mysterious atmosphere. Maybe some kind of strange and mysterious. After this strange and sinuous flushing, Ye Chen felt that the body had some changes, and the whole body had fallen off one layer after another, like some animals unshelled, showing crystal clear skin, and the whole body was shining. Newborn. Although the broken meridians have not recovered, Yechen can feel that there seems to be a force in the body that can be reborn. In the confusion, Yechen felt that he had come to another space. He was suspended above the sea level, surrounded by the endless sea, vast and boundless. Yechen heard a voice calling himself in the distance, but he couldn't hear what the voice was saying. A pure stock of Suankai kept rising from below, and with the wind, he was surprised to find that this piece of ocean is actually the kind of strange and agglutinating. How pure and sinister it is, it can be condensed into liquid by the gaseous state. And still a piece of ocean. With so many mysterious things, even millions of tens of millions of practitioners will not use tens of thousands of years. The voice was getting farther and farther away and eventually disappeared. Where is this? Like dreaming, it seems that it is not dreaming. Yechen thought of a move. Is this weird place related to the flying knife in his mind? The feeling of the whole body is so clear, this is definitely not a dream. He thought of a possibility. Is this piece of ocean, the world inside the flying knife? Yechen is full of curiosity about this flying knife in his mind. It is said that this flying knife was handed down from the ancestors of the past Yechen. After Yechen got the flying knife, he crossed the world. Between half sleeping and half awake, Yechen felt that the energy inside the flying knife kept overflowing, and it ran through the whole body, and it was unimpeded. The originally broken meridians, under the warmth of this strange and mysterious, gradually showed signs of healing. Yechen feels that his thoughts are floating in the sky, like falling asleep, and seemingly awake. After I didn't know how long, Yechen seemed to hear something outside the hut and climbed up. Is it just a dream? Yechen thought, and found a cold sweat behind him. Suddenly he felt a bit wrong. Before he woke up, his body was like a broken, and he didn't want to give birth. Now, the pain is actually gone. Traced, run a bit of mysterious, Yechen was surprised to find that the body's meridians are full of that strange mysterious meridian. My meridians have all healed. Yechen couldn't help but move. When he woke up, he found that the originally broken mesenged meridians actually healed strangely. A flood of mysterious gas surged in the meridians and rushed. Dan Tien. Yechen's heart can no longer be calm, filled with a strong ecstasy. 3 years, for 3 years. When he tried his best, he tasted the pain of life. Today, he finally got rid of the haze that shrouded him for 3 years. In the past 3 years, Yechen has developed a firm and extraordinary heart. Although happy, he has not lost his attitude and patiently checked his body. Any part of the body, hands, feet, body, internal organs, just like getting a new life, a pure yang is flowing in the body. Yechen thought of a word, that is the pure yang. When the human body is born, the yang is strong, pure as jade, and does not contain a trace of impurities, but as the age grows, the more filth that comes into contact with it, the body becomes unsuitable for practicing martial arts. The 10th order peak can purify the body with the refined and mysterious gas that has been condensed, and achieve the pure yang of the first birth. The martial arts has advanced by leaps and bounds, and the lifespan has been greatly extended. In addition, there are some large families who, when they are born, use rare medicinal herbs to help their children refine their bodies, and they can maintain a pure yang environment. Achieving pure yang does not mean how strong Suankai is, but it is much easier to absorb Suankai than ordinary people. The speed of cultivation is several times or even dozens of times faster than ordinary people. This is why those big families will. There are many reasons for genius. Yechen did not expect that he had inadvertently reached the pure yang environment. He glanced at the flying knife in his mind and recalled the fuzzy voice just now. This flying knife is too mysterious. I don't know when it will be known. The origins. After waking up, Suankai has a stage. Yechen ran a bit of this unusual mystery in the body and found that the speed of mysterious movement was much faster than before. Even when it was the peak of the 6th stage, it could not be compared. Every time the idea drives the flying knife, there will be a lot of mysterious spurts on the flying knives. I think of the vast sea of mysteriousness, and Yechen's heart is moving. Is there one of them that can provide itself with endless the mysterious sea of mysterious? Yechen frantically absorbed the mysterious gas that emerged from the flying knife, and the mysterious gas in the body became more and more thick. Soon, he felt the barrier of the Jin dynasty. At this time, he still had only the first order strength, but the barrier of the first order peak, in front of this powerful Suankai, was as thin as paper, without any blocking at all. And it quickly shattered. Jin stage. Second order. Yechen hasn't felt the joy of the Jin dynasty for a long time. Even when he was promoted to the sixth stage, it is not so exciting to be promoted to the second stage. Huang Tian pays off. This sentence is indeed true. Yechen clenched his fist, the pain in his heart was exhausted, turned into a powerful confidence. From today, he is finally no longer a waste. After the second promotion, Yechen began to consolidate the mystery, in order to impact the higher level. At this moment, something similar to the mouth and mind is hidden in Yechen's mind. Its name is Juxing Tianchen, which is a method of refining the air. There are 9 pieces of gold, water, fire, earth, and ice, and its content is complicated and complicated. It is amazing. Yechen discovered that the content of this 9-star Tianchen is like being engraved in the mind, and every word is very clear. Juxing Tianchen, calendar 9 dead 9 students, in order to master the heavens. I don't know what it is like to grasp the realm of heaven. What does it mean to be 9 dead and 9? Is it necessary to die 9 times and regenerate 9 times in order to cultivate the 9-star Tianchen to the highest level? If a person dies as a lamp, how can he be resurrected? Yechen discovered some confusing things. Among the 9 refining methods, one of Lei's articles is about a kind of practice called Lei Daijun. The outline of this method is actually thundering with the family. The internal strength is somewhat similar, but it is very different. This Lei Di is obviously much more complete and deeper than the thunder. Thundering inner strength is a total of 3, the last heavy mouth of the heart in the Father Yezhan Tian, to the highest level can reach the 10th peak, and this Lei Di, a total of 6, to the highest level, actually can control 5 Lei, breaking the sea. Yechen couldn't imagine what kind of realm it was. After a comparison, it was discovered that the inner thunder of Lei Ming was nothing more than the remnant of Lei Di, not as much as 1/10 of Lei Di. What is the origin of this flying knife and Yeji Bao? Each department's exercises are divided into 9 products. The thundering inner strength is the 3-product multiplication method in the Lei dynasty. In the exercises of the major forces in Donglan County, it is already a relatively advanced martial art. What kind of level is it? These things, even if you want to break your head, you can't think about it. Yechen simply doesn't think about it. After practicing the thunder and inner strength for so many years, there are already some foundations of the mind system. Since there is a higher martial arts than Lei Ming, Yechen naturally wants to try and practice. Yechen was immersed in the magical law of Lei Di's first weight. Although Lei Di's mystery, Yechen could only first glimpse 1 or 2, but it also made Yechen feel ashamed. Nothing in the night, unconsciously, the sky is already dawning. The morning fog shrouded, and Yechen's wooden house was located in the backyard of Yejiapu. There was no one here. It was quite quiet. The surrounding trees were lush and the bridges were flowing. Although it was somewhat run down because there was no one to care for, it was full of enthusiasm. Vitality. Yechen came out of the wooden house and took a deep breath of fresh air in the morning. From this morning, he felt that the whole world has become different. The floral fragrance in the air is so intoxicating, and his heart has never been more peaceful. After studying Lei Daijun for one night, Yechen discovered that many things in the thundering inner strength are wrong. After correcting those mistakes, the speed of cultivation can be several times faster. After reading the mouth of the 9-star Tianchen, Ye Chen's understanding of martial arts has risen to another level. There is a mysterious gas overflowing inside the flying knife. Ye Chen's mysterious gas is getting thicker and stronger, and soon touched the third-order barrier. He only listened to the sound of Dan Tian's bang, and the Jinja barrier was under the impact of Suankai. Broken. Third order. The average person from the first to the third, even if it is faster, it will take a year or two. Ye Chen overnight, will restore the mysterious to such a degree, the speed can be described as amazing. Ye Chen thought, would you tell his father the truth of Lady's heart? With Lei Daijun, his father's strength is estimated to be able to make rapid progress. It is not a problem to break through the 8th order to reach the 9th order. Together with the father and the 2 9th order masters, the strength of the family is very different. Ye Jiabao can get rid of the current predicament. The 3 minds behind Lady's heart were too shocking, and he could give the father the first 3 hearts. But I have to think of a way to explain the origin of Lei Daijun. In the past 3 years, in order to collect a large amount of gas-filled Dan, the father gave Ye Chen a warm meridian, and the whole Ye Jiabao strength was not as good as before, but his father never complained, and the uncles also loved Ye Chen. This kind of kindness, not a lady can be repaid. In addition, Ye Chen flashed a trace of cold in the eyelids, who originally put that kind of pain on himself, must be repaid by the other party. Ye Chen practiced breathing and breathing, calming down the volatility, and after reaching the pure yang environment, Ye Chen felt that his senses were much more acute than before, and his mind was more flexible than before. There was absolutely no such savvy before. After meditation for a few hours, he reviewed the family martial arts he had studied before, including the collapse of the thunder and the thunderbolt. The practice of the lei system is the strongest killing force in many exercises. The collapse of the thunder can condense the mysterious spirit of the thunder system into the palm of your hand. When you are in the palm of your hand, the power of the thunder is penetrated into the opponent's body. It broke out several times its own attack, and the main point of violent boxing is a fast word. When punching, it is fast and fierce, and there is no life. These 2 kinds of martial arts, Ye Chen, have been mastered at the beginning of the 6th order peak. Now, although they are some hands-on, they are still very skilled. Finally, I can practice martial arts again. In Ye Chen's heart, there is an excitement that cannot be said. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. Chapter 5, Cousin Ye. How Ye Chen went out of his residence and flew away to the main house of the family. He was eager to tell his father that his meridians had healed. At the home of the family, Ye Chen found that there are many people in the hall of the main house, Ye Zhantian, Ye Zhanlong, Ye Zhanxiang, etc., as well as Ye Moyang, Ye Kajian, and Ye Zhangsheng's daughter Ye Wei. I looked at the hall and looked at it. Although my son was in a special position in Ye Jiabao, many uncles regarded her as a biological daughter and never avoided it. Everyone seems to be arguing about something, one by one. His face is thick and his neck is thick, and the nephew has waved to Ye Chen. Ye Chen silently walks to Ye Hao's side and listens quietly. Ye Zhanxiang, you are talking about where my son Kong Yan is not worthy of your daughter. Ye Moyang said coldly, on character, talent, and empty Yan in Ye Jiabao, it is definitely a squatter. Brothers, just look down on me. Ye Moyang. Seeing Ye Chen Chao next to him, I saw Ye Hao standing behind Ye Zhangsheng's body and screaming. Ye Hao is the daughter of San Shu, the cousin of Ye Chen, looks handsome, and is in the 5th order peak. Only a little bit can enter the 6th order. Ye Kajian, who is standing on the side of Ye Moyang, is a nervous color. The marriage of children and grandchildren must be decided by themselves. If there is no feelings, why are you happy? Don't you want to marry Kong Yan? Ye Zhanxiang looked at Ye Hao, said, despite the fear and boldness. Marriage is nothing more than the life of the parents, the words of the matchmaker. How do you have any feelings before you get married? and when you get along with each other, you will naturally have feelings. Ye Zhanxiang, you are clearly pushing for excuses. Ye Moyang rushed into the tunnel. The nephew is kind and gentle, and rarely has his own opinion, and Ye Kejian's character is insidious, just like Ye Moyang. If the child is married to Ye Kejian, it is definitely not happy. I don't know if Ye Moyang is forced to marry 3 uncles. What are the plans? Ye Hao looked up and looked at many elders, and looked at Ye Kejian again. It seemed that he was determined to say, the uncles, the elders, and the nephews have just broken through the 6th order. 6th order? The people in the hall gave a slight glimpse, and Ye Zhanxiang looked at Ye Hao with surprise and asked, is this true? Yeah. Ye Hao nodded. Ye Zhanxiang grabbed Ye Hao's hand and probed it with Suankai. The old Huixian nodded and said, sure enough, it is the 6th order. Congratulations to the younger brother. Ye Zhantian and others all congratulated, and the heart was filled with emotions. Ye Jiabao was not even a successor. Before the age of 18, if the mysterious level can reach the 6th order, the future is a promising future. If you are in your lifetime, you may be able to cultivate to the 8th or even the 9th order and become the patron saint of the family. If you are not able to practice before the age of 18 to the 6th order, the meridians are solidified, unless there is a medicinal herb such as the medullary dandelion, which can only reach the 6th or 7th order. When Ye Moyang heard Ye Hao's words, his face changed a bit. Ye Hao had already cultivated to the 6th stage. The family elders could not force her to do anything. After the 6th order, the status in the family is completely different. The children don't hate the empty brothers. They signed up 3 days ago and participated in the entry test of King Yunzong. They have already obtained the qualification for King Yunzong. They want to go to King Yunzong for 2 years, marriage, etc. I will say it after 2 years. Ye Hadao, this is also an indirect rejection of Ye Kejian. Ye Kejian glanced at Ye Hao with a grudge. Ye Hao said that he wanted to reject him, which made him very faceless. When I got the qualification for King Yunzong, this is a good thing. Grand Elders, do you want to wait until 2 years later? Ye Zhantian looked at Ye Moyang. Ye Moyang indulged in a moment. If Ye Hao went to King Yunzong, it would not affect his plan, but he couldn't make a decision. He was still very unhappy. He snorted, if that is the case, then I will look at you for 2 years. After how to say, do not send, leave. Ye Moyang went away and Ye Kejian followed. Everyone watched Ye Moyang out of the house of the family. Ye Moyang suddenly gave birth to Ye Kejian. What is the intention? Ye Zhanlong frowned. Ye Moyang, the old fox, what is in the heart? After 7 days, it is the ancestors' grand ceremony. After Chen Er's meridian breaks down, he succeeded as the head of the family, and has been vacant for 3 years. Ye Zhantian sighed and said, it turns out that this old fox wants to push his son to the position of successor, the younger generation of the family, the death of the dead, the wounds of the wounds, the failure of the green, and the chance to succeed in the position of the successor, only Ye Kejian, nephew and nephew. The name of the child is not right, and it is impossible to compete for the position of the successor. If the child is married to Ye Kejian, the child will naturally not fight. The boy, Ye Kejian, will naturally take over as the successor. Ye Zhanlong thought for a moment and thought about it. If you look at Ye Yeshan in a deep sense, I don't know how long this old thing has been planned. In front of a group of young people such as Ye Chen, Ye Wei, and Ye Hao, Ye Zhanlong did not hide his contempt for Ye Moyang. My son wants to go to King Yunzong, not to fight with Ye Kejian. Ye Moyang, the old fox, will be willing to give up. Otherwise, it will definitely not be so good. Ye Zhanxiang was cold and cold. He doesn't look at Ye Kejian's kid, what is his virtue, and he has succeeded to be the owner. Ye Zhanlong sneered. Ye Zhantian sighed with a deep sigh, said, In the younger generation, Yemeng and Yeming are still small, and repairing is far from enough. I am afraid there is no way to stop Yemoyang. After all, the successor patriarch is already vacant. For 3 years, Yemoyang was famous. Yechen didn't understand a bit. Why did their fathers give up to Yemoyang so much that they wouldn't let the children of the children go to King Yunzong, let the children of the children go to fight? However, since the 3 elders decided this way, there must be reasons to have to do so. It was he who made his father so embarrassed, and Yechen was a bit sad at the time. Chen, how come you? Ye Zhantian looked at Yechen, his eyes full of love. Father. Yechen walked out of the crowd and gave it to Ye Zhantian. The baby let you be wronged. Yechen should have known that he had asked for medicine from Donglan County. Ye Zhantian sighed with a sigh of relief. He walked slowly and reached out to help Yechen, who was still on the ground. His eyes were full of sadness. It's okay for the father, Chen, hurry up. Father, the child is not filial, so that you are so worried about the child. Yechen looked up, his eyes filled with tears. At this time, his heart is like knocking over the 5-flavored bottle. The ground is cool, your body is poor. Ye Zhantian lifted Yechen's arm and was preparing to lift Yechen. Suddenly, he was shocked and looked at Yechen in an incredible way. Chen your meridians. Finally the pulse word. Ye Zhantian did not say anything. At this time his heart was extremely shocked, and his mind was blank, and he was only half turned. Everyone first dispersed. I have some words with Chen Although Ye Zhantian barely made himself appear calmer, but the voice is still a little trembling. Ye Zhantian helped Yechen, and the two walked toward the back of the hall. Looking at the back of the 2 men, Ye Zhanxiang glanced at Ye Zhanlong next to him, and asked some doubts, what happened to his eldest brother? He saw that Ye Zhantian was a little bit wrong. Didn't Chen's body deteriorate again? Ye Zhanxiang is worried. Ye Zhanlong also looked at the back of Ye Zhantian with a puzzled face and shook his head. He said, I don't know. Among several brothers, his relationship with Ye Zhantian is the most intimate, for Ye Zhantian. A change in emotions is well known. The emotions of Ye Zhantian are not sad, but they are a bit like excitement. Everyone is scattered. Ye Zhanlong waved, he wanted to look at it, but thought about it, or give a big space to big brother and Chen 2 uncles, Ye Chen brother, is he okay? Ye Hao went to Ye Zhanlong's front and asked with some concern. In the eyelids of Ye Hao, there was also a hint of concern, and the heart secretly prayed, Ye Chen's brother and his family had their own appearance. Don't worry, Ye Chen brother, he's fine. Ye Zhanlong smiled and patted Ye Hao's small head. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. 9 Astra Skies Chapter 6, Yunjiabao. Yejiabao Secret Room. Chen, is your meridian good? Ye Zhantian asked with concern, the voice still trembled, and he doubted whether it was his own illusion. Yes, my father, the baby's meridians have healed. Ye Chen burst into tears and trembled. Children are not filial. In recent years, my father has suffered. Nothing, no problem, God bless me Ye family. Ye Zhantian tears and sighs, comfortably, as long as your meridians can recover, everything is fine. As long as Ye Chen's meridians can recover, even take his life. Why not? Right, how did your meridians recover? I don't know. I woke up yesterday, and it recovered. Ye Chen thought about it. The thing about the flying knife was absolutely impossible to say. It was too shocking to say it, but ladies threefold oral, it is better to give my father as soon as possible. Ye Jiabo is in the midst of storms and winds. He may have trouble at any time. His father's strength is enhanced. Ye Jiabo has a foothold, and then he said, when I sleep, dream when I arrived at a white-haired old man, he recovered my meridians and taught me something. White-haired old man. Yazantian's tone of voice, the world has such a bizarre thing. But no matter what, Yechen's meridians are good, this is true. What did he teach you? It's a law. Yechen took out a pen and paper from the desk next to it, and wrote down the law of Lady's scorpion. There are 9 articles in the 9-star Tian Chen, and Lady is only one of them. Lei Ming's inner strength is the closest. This one is only Lady, and it is no longer possible to cultivate to the peak. As for other chapters, Yechen thinks about it and studies it first. This is Ye Zhantian stunned, and looked at the things written by Yechen in detail, shocked and could not be added. What is the name of this law? Lidi. A good lady. Our Ye family's thundering internal strength should be nothing but the remnant of this law. It is said that Yejio was a big family thousands of years ago. It is a very powerful raid. After several battles, the Ye family gradually declined, and the law was gradually broken. 200 years ago, several Ye family ancestors collected all the broken laws, and created the Thunder inner strength, but it was very incomplete. Only 3 products of superior martial arts. This Lei Di should be a complete system of Lei, at least should be more than 9 martial arts, only 3 before the cultivation, actually can surpass the 10th order. The ancestors have spirit. Heart vibration during the war. Yechen did not expect such a story. Is it not accidental that he came to the world himself? You dreamed of the white-haired old man, probably the ancestor of the Ye family. Yejia had countless stunned ancestors who rushed through the void. Perhaps they couldn't bear to see that the Ye family is so declining now, so dreams are given to you, recovery. Your meridians, and pass you Lei Di dot. Ye Zhantian thought excitedly. Yechen's cheeks were slightly hot. This white-haired old man was just what he thought. He was told by his father that it was really a matter of fact. I will pass the first part of this article to your uncles, Chen, you can have opinions. Ye Zhantian asked Yechen. Several uncles and uncles are as eager as the mountains, even when Chen Er's meridians are the most difficult, they still do not leave. Chen has no opinions, but the elders, Yechen said. My father has been walking through rivers and lakes for so many years, and naturally he will not be loyal to him. How Ye Moyang has done in recent years, how could he escape my eyes? In order to push Ye Kajian to the position of successor, he will pass the song with the enemy. When you were attacked, it was he who passed the news to outsiders. I will not know this. I have collected some evidence for the past 3 years. I just want to keep him now. When the time is right, he will be excavation. Ye Zhantian said that Ye Moyang, the tone is cold as iron, if not Ye Moyang, Yechen will not suffer the pain of the past 3 years, Ye Jiabao will not be like this. Yechen had long suspected Ye Moyang. After listening to his father's statement, he finally affirmed, my father knows who was attacking us that day. The 5 brothers died in battle, and Yechen clenched his fist. This is a deep hatred. He must be back. Ye Zhantian glanced at Yechen and hesitated for a moment, saying, you have suffered a lot during these 3 years, but when you grow up, we all look in the eyes. When you grow up, some things tell you that it is fine. Those who ambushed you on the same day are the people of Yunjiabao. Yunjiabao. Yechen's eyes suddenly condensed. Yunjiabao is the strongest one in Lianyun 18 Fort, and the lord of Lianyun 18 Fortress came out from Yunjiabao. When Yejiabao was in full bloom, it threatened the status of Yunjiabao. It was a day when they had to deal with our Ye family from a very early age. Your recovery of the meridians must not be publicized. We do not have enough strength. Before fighting against Yunjiabao, it must not be an enemy. Ye Moyang must also keep it first. If Ye Moyang is removed, Yunjiabao will inevitably rush to Yejiabao. Ye Zhantiandao, this is related to Yejiabao's life and death, he can't be careless. Baby understands. Yechen nodded. His heart was more mature than before. Yunjiabao gave everything to himself. He must repay 10 times. Of course, he must learn to be patient before he has enough strength. The father and son talked long and long, until late at night. Yechen came out of his father. Knowing the recovery of Yechen's meridians, Ye Zhantian is suddenly young and 10 years old. Excited is beyond words. Seeing his father's spirit, Yechen is also very pleased. The night is heavy. Yechen walked toward his small courtyard by the faint moonlight, and looked up at the entrance of the yard. A girl wearing a white gauze was looking forward to it, and her long black hair was covered on her shoulders. It looked soft and moving, white skin, under the moonlight, with a hint of luster, like a quiet lotus bloom at night, light and elegant. The girl is Yehao. Yechen brother, you are back. Seeing Yechen, Yehao's heart was finally falling. Shantu, how are you here? Yechen smiled. He could feel Yehao's concern for himself. The past life was an orphan. This feeling made him feel very warm and looked down. At this time, Yehao, the white gauze wraps out, revealing a beautiful neck and a clearly visible clavicle. The pleats of the skirt are like a snowy moonlight flowing down the ground, a ribbon is formed at the waist, and the beautiful girl's jade peak is added. A bit soft and beautiful. I don't know when, the little girl with the scorpion in the past has grown into a pure and moving girl, a faint girl's body fragrance, and swaying Yechen's heartstrings. From small to large, Yechen treated the nephew as his own sister, but with the increase of age, the relationship between the two has undergone some subtle changes. When I was in the lobby in the afternoon, I saw Yebobo's look not right, and thought that Yechen's brother's body. Yehao sat here, and some nervously looked at Yechen. Stupid girl, my body is no problem, you see, this is not very good. Yechen took a moment to smile, and smiled, his heart full of love and pity. Hurry up, go deeper, if you are seen in the middle of the night, if you are seen I have to gossip. I am not afraid. Yehao's face was serious. Shantu, my meridians have all been restored, so you can always rest assured, you will not have to consume my mysterious energy to warm my meridians in the future. Yechendeo, every night of the full moon, Yehao will give he conveys Suankai, and Yechen does not have to suffer from inhuman torture. If these 3 years, Yehao does not need to help him warm the meridians, with her talent, I am afraid that this has already broken through the 6th order. Yechen brother, is your meridian really good? Yehoking's eyes are full of incredible. Does I still lie to you? Yechen smiled and laughed, running a bit of mysteriousness, and a mysterious volatility spread out. Really recovered? Yehao murmured, his eyes were a little dull, and tears poured out involuntarily. But this thing, can't tell other people. Yechen smiled and smiled. How did you cry? My meridians recovered, you should be happy. Yechen's brother's meridians have finally recovered, great. I am so happy. Yehao seems to react to the general, all of a sudden into the arms of Yechen, sobbing. Yechen was stunned by Yehao's fierce reaction, half a sigh, faint smile, and his right hand patted the back of Yehao. Yehao cried for a while, wiped his tears, and choked, do not worry, Yechen brother, I will not tell others. After a long time, the two talents gradually quieted down, holding Yehao, the soft feeling on the chest, and the fragrance of the girl who was plunging into the nose from time to time, which made Yechen feel a strange feeling in his heart. He was very handy. I took a picture of Yehao's and smiled and said, Shantu, you rubbed your nose on me. The soft elasticity that came from the palm of your hand made Yechen feel like an electric shock and stayed for a long while. In Yechen's arms, the warm feeling made Yehao's body stiff, just too happy, so she completely forgot that men and women had this kind of thing. After Yechen took a few she suddenly felt wrong, like the kitten who stepped on the tail, he jumped up and his cheeks were hot. It was like a fire. He looked down at Yechen's eyes with his head down. Yechen brother, your meridians have just recovered, or you have to rest more. I will first gone back. I will send you in the past. Yechen was a little embarrassed, just taking the action of Yehao's ass, it is indeed a bit of Menlang no need. Yehafei also ran away. Looking at the back of Yehao's disappearance, Yechen was dumbfounded, looked at the palm of his hand, and suddenly came up with a strange idea. Yehao's buttocks were quite good. In the distant grass, watching Yechen walk into the small courtyard, Yehao still stood in the same place, his cheeks were still hot, and his heart was like a little rabbit, and he tweeted through the air. For a moment, she licked her mouth. Some dissatisfiedly muttered, Yechen's brother is too bully, is the girls casually taken? Immediately, it was a smile, just like, but also thought of something, look stunned down, how long can I stay in this Yejia fort? The lost mood of the girl is like the phoenix in the night. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. Chapter 7, Mysterious Yechen returned to his hut, and there was another sign of breakthrough in the body. He quickly sat down and began to practice Lei Di, and the body's mysteriousness quickly moved. It may be because before the meridian breaks, Yechen has cultivated to the 6th order peak, and the foundation is still there, so the speed of Suankai is very fast. When he sat down and spurred the flying knife in his mind, a majestic Suankai rushed out of the flying knife and quickly flowed to Yechen's limbs. The flying knife contains a lot of pure and mysterious gas. This mysterious gas is much more pure than the mysterious gas in the heavens and the earth. Yechen has no need to absorb the mysterious atmosphere between the heavens and the earth. The mysterious gas coming out of the flying knife is enough for him to use. The Suankai in the flying knife is too pure, and Yechen can only absorb 1/10 of it, and the remaining 9/10 are lost. So wasteful, will the mysterious air in the flying knife be wasted light? Yechen thought a little worried, remembering the strange dreamland, the vast sea of mysterious sea. If it was a flying knife, the world inside, even if he is wasted, cannot use the mysterious spirit contained in the mysterious sea. Regardless of this, whether it is waste or not, first of all to improve their own strength, Yunjiabao has a tiger and wolf heart, has been staring at Yejiabao for a long time. Yejiabao is in the midst of storms, if not faster to upgrade their own strength, even the power of self-protection is not, let alone protect their loved ones. At the time of running Suankai, Yechen gradually entered the state of being settled, as if there was a mysterious and distant voice meditation in his mind to explain the many mysteries of the 9-star Tianchen. Yechen sinking his heart, listening quietly, from that blur in the voice, Yechen knows some information. There are 9 pieces of Juxing Tianchen, which contain 9 kinds of exercises. Lei Di is only one of them. Each skill complements each other and lives together. Every skill must be cultivated, and it is truly a cultivation of the 9-star Tianchen. Because it is necessary to cultivate 9 kinds of exercises at the same time, the difficulty of cultivation is much greater than other exercises. However, the power of this method is unmatched by other exercises. Juxing Tianchen is only the method of refining, excluding martial arts, but any martial arts in the world can be motivated by the mysterious spirit of the 9-star Tianchen. The world of martial arts is second to none. Yechen couldn't help but marvel. There is such a magical practice in the world. At the beginning of the martial arts, the family martial arts told Yechen that the martial arts and martial arts complement each other. The martial arts are born by relying on the exercises, such as the thunder of Yejia. There are 16 kinds of martial arts in the inner strength. These 16 kinds of martial arts can only be used by those who cultivate thunder and inner strength, and those who practice other exercises cannot. The martial arts of other families are also the same. There is no corresponding skill package. Even if they steal the martial arts of other families, they will not be able to display them. Out of the practice, martial arts becomes useless. Therefore, the family history is particularly important. A family with a long history has undergone numerous improvements to become more suitable for family members to practice. In addition, there are countless talents who rely on the practice to create unique martial arts can make the family survive in the empire of the strong like Lin. After practicing the 9-star Tian Chen, you can practice all the martial arts in the world, which completely overturned Ye Chen's cognition. This 9-star Tian Chen, it should be the same unreasonable practice. However, there are 9 exercises in the 9-star Tian Chen, so the difficulty of cultivation is several times that of ordinary exercises. Only practicing the Lei Di, you should be able to achieve something, but wait again and again. Ye Chen decided to cultivate a complete 9-star Tian Chen, although the road of martial arts may be much more difficult than others, but Ye Chen believes that as long as it can work hard it should still be okay. Start with the most familiar Raytheon. Ye Chen fascinated to understand the mysterious place of Lady Sorrow. He only felt that the mysteriousness of the body was turbulent, and the barriers of the Jin dynasty were quickly broken under the impact of this mysterious temper. After breaking through the barriers of the Jin dynasty, Ye Chen clearly felt that the mysterious body in the body was several times thicker than before. Fourth order. Wherein the strength of wherein I am more sleet, I am not excited, I can only recover from the sap to the sacred state of the gradual peak. Ye Chen believes that at the current rate of cultivation, this day is not far away. Thinking of the humiliation suffered in these 3 years, Ye Chen breathed a deep breath, and one day, he would rely on his own strength to wash away those shame. After the fourth order, the progress of cultivation gradually slowed down, but Ye Chen was still making rapid progress, and he practiced reassuringly in the small courtyard every day. It is noon, no breeze, it is not very hot. Danged wherein? A low, melodious bell passed through the entire Yejiapu. Ye Chen suddenly opened his eyes. This is the bell of the tribe. Whenever he heard the bell, all the Ye family members had to gather at the martial arts field. He stood up, sorted out his clothes, and walked outside. Yejiabao played a bustling battlefield, standing full of Ye family people. There are thousands of them, but everything is orderly and orderly, everyone is looking for their position. There are a few chairs in front of the martial arts field. It is the location of Ye Zhantian, Ye Zhanlong, Ye Moyang, etc. There is an open space on the left, standing in the family of 18 to 40-year-old elites. There are hundreds of people, at least it is the 5th order or above. They are the pillars of the family. On the right, there is an open space. There are teenagers under the age of 18 who have cultivation talents, and there are 200 or 300 people. As for the central government, there are those who do not cultivate talents or are old and weak. Ye Chen looked at the right side and saw Ye Hao looked over here. This Yaonazai wore a white silk skirt, like a fairy. Some of the teenagers stood out. After she found Ye Chen's gaze, she smiled and provoked a group of teenagers next to each other. Not far away, Ye Hao's gaze searched for something in the crowd. After seeing Ye Chen, he smiled. Ye Chen can feel that this cousin, who usually does not speak, is still very concerned about himself. I don't know what this tribe will say. Ye Chen thought to himself. Ye Kajian followed the eyes of Ye Hao, and after seeing Ye Chen, he showed a look of disdain. Ye Jiabao has only 3 tribes a year at most, and I don't know about this tribal society. What important things are announced? Ye Zhantian stood in the forefront, and now there is no such old feeling as before, and he seems to be mentally awkward. After all, it is the practitioner of the 8th order peak. Before the daily mood is restless, and the worry is too heavy, it will be exhausted. The burden of the heart in these days will be solved, and the cultivation of the spirit will be supplemented by the support of Ye Chen. The Spirit of God immediately returned to the peak. There is a glimpse of a sign of breakthrough, but also a happy personality. Ye Zhantianlong walked on the platform and stood on the high platform. Lang said, "Today, there are some things to tell everyone." Yazantian's voice is like a hongzhong, low and powerful, and thousands of people present. I can clearly hear that the sound of the discussion on the field immediately stopped, showing the extent to which Yazantian's prestige in Yejiabayo was high. Seeing Yazantian's spirit is very good, the people of all ethnic groups are very happy. In the past 3 years, the family's industry has gone to 5 or 6. I am determined to resume the operation of the family business. In the future, I will reduce the acquisition of some gas-gathering den. The words of Ye Zhantian caused the voice of the people to talk about it. A group of people looked at Ye Chen's eyes, and there were pity and pity. At the beginning, Ye Chen was a well-deserved genius in the family. It was the hope of the people. Everyone hoped that there would be a godlike figure in the family, so that the people could get shelter in this troubled world, but now, all this is probably impossible. Are the patriarchs ready to give up Ye Chen? The patriarch, this is not. The patriarch, the meridian of Chen Er, still has to be ruled. About the meridian of Chen Er, I am going to use other methods. Ye Zhantian glanced at Yechendao in the crowd, although it was quiet, but the heart was pleasant. Yechenj, don't be discouraged, your meridians will recover one day sooner or later. The 3 sons of Ye Meng, the second uncle Ye Zhanlong. Yes, Yechenj, uncle and uncle will find a way to restore your meridians. Ye Ming next to him is also concerned about the authentic, he is the child of the 6 uncles. Ye Chen turned back and saw more than a dozen pairs of eager eyes. The sincere eyes of these brothers made Ye Chen really feel the warmth of the family. When he said that he was ridiculous in his family, he was a minority, and he was Yekajian. A group of people who are headed, many people are doing their best to help him during the time when Ye Chen's meridians are doing their best. These uncles' brothers, many of them have saved money for him for 3 years and will make their own money. Contribute it, hand it over to the family to buy the gas-filled den, give Ye Chen warm the meridians, this kind of kindness, how can Ye Chen forget? From today, they are my brothers of Ye Chen. Ye Chen secretly vowed in the bottom of my heart. The second thing, the third brother Ye Zhangsheng's daughter, Ye Hao, passed the examination of King Yunzong. After 2 months, she will go to King Yunzong to practice. This is a great blessing for the family. The younger generation of the family must follow the example of deaf children. Work hard to make the family more brilliant. Ye Zhantian's words just fell, and suddenly aroused greater repercussions among the tribes. Want to achieve the entry qualification of King Yunzong, in addition to reaching the 6th order before the age of 18, but also through the entry examination of King Yunzong. King Yunzong's entry assessment is very difficult. Yejia for more than a decade, no one passed at the beginning. Ye Chen also had a chance, but unfortunately suffered such a tragedy before taking part in the assessment. Now Ye Hairan is the first person in the younger generation. I didn't expect my nephew to be young, but I have such an achievement. It must be true. It seems that the future hope of the family will fall on the shoulders of the nephew. A group of young family members have cast an envious look at Ye Hao. The amazing girl, I don't know how many young dreams are going to be around. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. 9 Astra Skies Chapter 8, 7 days. Ye Chen brother, you have to refuel, you cannot lose to Ye Hao's sister. Ye Hao revealed a sweet smile, cannot tell the quiet and comfortable. Ye Chen's meridians have fully recovered, and she firmly believes that with Ye Chen's talent, she should be able to regain her confidence soon. If it is not every month, I will use my mysterious energy to help me warm up the meridians. If I am a child, I am afraid that I have already surpassed my nephew. Ye Chen reveals the look of memories, the 3 years of the meridian, every month. On the night of the round, he will die and die. Ye Hao will force him to give him the sigh of gas every time, help him to warm the meridians and protect him from suffering. If it is not because of this, the mysteriousness of the child is likely to have broken through the 7th order or even higher. A group of people talks about it. In the troubled times, human life is like a mustard. The family has become a sanctuary for everyone. Everyone naturally wants their family to be strong and powerful. Yet how can enter King Yunzong for further study? I am afraid that it will not last for a few years. There will be a female Valkyrie. They are still excited about this news. Ye Zhantian also said some business about Yejia mines and shops. After 7 days, it will be a 5-year ancestor ceremony, informing all Ye family members who have been practicing and doing business in the past, and rushing back within 7 days. In addition, they will send people to inform the old patriarch and ask him to go out. Today's ethnic group, let's end here. Yezantiandeo. Wait. Just as everyone was ready to disperse, Ye Moyang, the big elder next to him, suddenly came out. Does there anything for the elders? Ye Zhantian looked at Ye Moyang, and his eyes flashed a faint light. Today's ethnic group, just the people are here, I have one thing to say. I don't know what the elders want to say. Ye Zhantian asked. At this time, Ye Zhanlong, Ye Zhanxiang and others also paid attention to Ye Moyang, and they had some bad premonitions. The old man and the other 5 elders discussed it. After 7 days, it was the 5-year ancestral ritual. According to the truth, it is time to determine the candidate for the successor patriarch. Do you know what the patriarch has? Ye Moyang looked at the old eyes and looked at it. Ye Zhantian asked. In addition to having a patriarch, Ye family's ancestral system also chose a successor patriarch among the younger generation to hold one big and one small 2 ancestral letters. When the patriarch encounters an accident, the successor patriarch is in power. Take over the position of the owner. Ye Jiabao succeeded as the head of the family. It was originally handed over to Ye Chen. However, after Ye Chen's attack, Ye Chen's letter was temporarily kept by Ye Zhantian, and he was vacant for 3 years. Therefore, Ye Moyang proposed at this time that he would re-elect his successor. Ye Jiyi's people have been talking about it. It is true that the successor patriarch should be elected. The successor patriarch is vacant for 3 years and is somewhat incompatible with the ancestral system. The voices they discussed in private, Ye Moyang listened very proudly, and elected the successor patriarch is the thing that everyone hopes to return. Ye Zhantian may not be able to drag on for a long time. Among the younger generation, there are more than a dozen people who are qualified to compete for the position of the successor. If it is about strength, Ye Hao ranks first, but Ye Hao has obtained the qualification of King Yunzong, and will not compete for the successor at this time. The position. Ye Hao is in Ye family, who belongs to an outsider. He was fostered in Ye Jiabao from a young age. Although his strength is good, he is not qualified to compete for the position of his successor. Then Ye Qian, the son of Ye Moyang, is the most likely to be the successor. When I heard Ye Moyang's words, Ye Kajian's face suddenly showed excitement. As a successor to his family, this is definitely a great glory for him. He is the successor of his family. 2 years later, he is also the most qualified to reach Ye Hao. It is more likely to become the owner of the Ye family in the future, and Ye Jiabao will have to say it by him. Ye Zhantian brows slightly wrinkled, although he knows that Ye Chen's meridians have recovered, but it took only a few days to recover, and he could not compete for the position of successor. The battle for succession as the head of the family is tentatively scheduled for 3 months. Ye Zhantian said. Why do you have to settle for 3 months? This is not in line with the ancestral system. Ye Mo Anode argued. Big brothers have said that after 3 months, Ye elders are too anxious, and can't wait for 3 months. Ye Zhanlong sighed. After 7 days is the ancestral ritual, why not do it on the ancestral ceremonies? If you wait 3 months, if the patriarch can say a convincing reason, we will naturally accept it. Ye Moyang refused to let himself. I thought, Ye Zhantian is delaying the time. This thing, when it is late, will change, and it must not be dragged for a long time. There is no reason, I am a patriarch. Isn't there any power to make such a decision? Ye Zhantian sneaked a sigh of relief. He looked around at the eager eyes of many people on the field and glanced at Ye Chen. Suddenly sighed in his heart, and after Ye Chen's strength was improved, he would definitely help Ye Chen to take over as his successor. But after 7 days, the ancestors representing the family power were handed over to Ye Kejian and Ye Moyang, and they were unwilling. Does the patriarch want to be arbitrarily special? Ye Moyang sneered a sigh. 3 years ago, the patriarchs were willing to go their own way, which made the Ye family fall into such an embarrassing situation. Now, Ye Jiabao can be ranked in Lianyun 18 Fort. The first few. The ancestral system cannot be broken. If the patriarch still insists, I decided to unite the elders to play the patriarch. Ye Moyang said that 3 years ago, Ye Zhantian ordered the mobilization of the whole family to treat Ye Chen. The cherished herbs consumed at that time were the income of Ye Jiabao for more than 5 years. Later, Ye Chen used it. A lot of gas gathering dan. When I heard Ye Moyang's words, Ye Chen was clenching his fist. This sentence said Ye Moyang's heart. Ye Moyang wanted Ye Chen to die. Ye Zhantian snorted and looked at the elders group next to him. The 5 elders were sitting in danger. They all looked down and did not dare to look at Ye Zhantian's eyes. Ye Zhantian became the owner of Ye Jiabao at the age of 17. At that time, Ye Jiabao was almost expelled by Lianyun Babao. For more than 20 years, the strength of Ye Jiabao even chased Yun Jiabao. I said it was set at 3. After a month, it will be fixed after 3 months. If you want to impeach, then you can impeach it. Ye Zhantian's tone is decisive, and there is a powerful power in his body. Ye Moyang was so angry that he couldn't take Ye Zhantian. Ye Zhantian's prestige in Ye Jiabao was unparalleled. The 5 elders jointly impeached, and all the tribes voted to remove them. Ye Zhantian's position as a patriarch, he could not incite Ye Zhantian's position in the family. However, he must put his son on the position of successor. This will never waver. The patriarch is so overbearing, I am afraid it is difficult to convince the public. When the old patriarch returns, I will naturally clarify the old patriarch and ask the old patriarch to decide. Ye Moyang can only bite his teeth and swallow this breath. Father, the family's selection of successor to the family is a family event. It is scheduled for the ancestors' ceremonies after 7 days. Ye Chen suddenly came out of the crowd and bowed to Ye Zhantian. He didn't want to be because of himself. It affects the father's prestige in the family. Ye Chen's abrupt voice made the Ye family's people stunned. They did not expect that Ye Chen would actually stand up at this time. There were a few sighs from the crowd. Ye Chen was the son of the patriarch. They used the feelings of the people on Ye Zhantian. They were 100 who were willing to let Ye Chen become the successor patriarch, but now, Ye Chen's meridians are broken. A waste man, in this world of armed forces, a waste man is categorically unable to lead the entire family. Ye Kejian glanced at Ye Chen, and snorted, this waste person is not still thinking about it, want to get the position of successor family. The successor of the family is still determined by the competition. This is the ancestral system and will never change. Ye Zhantian looked at Ye Chen, half a sigh, and sighed with a sigh. Shen Sheng said, that will be the ancestral ritual after 7 days. He also understands that if the selection of the successor family is ranked 3 months later, how much criticism will be incurred. He originally thought, for Ye Chen, no matter how to withstand the pressure, but see Ye Chen said so, he will give in. Ye Moyang glanced at Ye Chen with a gloomy look. He didn't understand why Ye Chen stood up at this time. After thinking about it, Ye Chen is already a waste. It is said to be no different after 7 days and 3 months later. Does Ye Chen still want to compete with his son for the position of the owner? The tribes will disperse, and a group of people will talk about the ancestral ceremonies after 7 days. A lettered eagle flew up and flew northward, which was dedicated to the old patriarch. Yejiabao, Yezhantian residence. Chen, do you have the confidence to win the position of successor in 7 days? Baby tried his best. Yechen also had no way to determine whether he would win Yekajian. If you can't win, it will be. What level of strength have you recovered now? Yezhantiandeo, he did not want to give Yechen too much pressure. Yemoyang's abacus played very fine, he would not know, if let Yekajian get the position of successor. Yemoyang next step, I am afraid it is to start with him. Yemoyang and Yunjiabao privately trade, he will not know. But he will not be so afraid of Yunjiabao. Baby has now returned to the 4th stage. Yechandeo, his current level of mystery is 4th order, but the mysteriousness in his body is somewhat weird. The degree of purity is far more than ordinary Suankai. How much strength he has, even leaves Chen himself is not clear. Yechen estimated that his current strength may be comparable to Yekajian. There are still 7 days, and in these 7 days, he is confident that he can go further. The 4th order? Chen children recovered very quickly. If it can go further, it should be able to defeat Yekajian. Yezhantian is old and happy. Yechen's meridians have just recovered. He guessed that Yechen's strength is only 1 or 2 steps. I did not expect it's already 4 steps, which makes him very surprised. With Yechen's martial arts foundation, there is no complete odds. For the father to give you dozens of gas-gathering dan, you take it back and use it. Yezhantian took out a brocade box from the dark cell next to it, which contained 37 fragrant gas-gathering dan. Father, I don't have to give me any more money in the future, I don't need it. Yechen's eyes are red, and now he accepts the baptism of the mysterious spirit from the flying knife every day. Dan didn't have that effect at all. In the past 3 years, he has consumed thousands of gas-gathering dan, and now the family financial resources are greatly damaged. There is no money to collect the gas. For the father to give you a gas, you want to let you win the ancestral grand ceremony, so that the successor of the family will fall into the hands of Yemoyang and his son. These few gas dan, cannot spend much money. Father, the baby has recently cultivated the lady, seems to have realized, really does not need to use the gas dan. Yechen firmly said. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. Chapter 9, Condensed Dan. Seeing that Yechen is very determined, Yezhantian can only give up. The Thunder Emperor is also really wonderful. Chen there is one thing that the father wants to discuss with you. I want to give the first law of Lei Di to the people to practice. Is this good? Yezhantian asked. After all, Lei Dijin was given to him by Yechen. Maybe there is any instruction from his ancestors. He dared not hand it over to the people. There are 9 articles in the 9-star Tian Chen, and Lei Di is only one of them. The deep-mouthed slogan must be protected. The first method is to cultivate the tribes. After all, the strength of the family is the cost of living in this world. Since I have handed the Emperor Lei to my father is the master. Yechandeo, the father must have thoughts. That's good. Yezhantian smiled. He suddenly remembered one thing, his expression was a bit dignified. I see Chen are very close to the child. Is Chen Arai a child? Before Yechen's meridians tried, Yezhantian didn't think so much. Now that Yechen's meridians recovered, the yin accumulated in his heart was exhausted, and he began to consider Yechen's marriage. I have always looked at my sister as a sister. Yechandeo, but he also had to admit that he was getting better and better, and he was very close to him. Yechen couldn't help but feel at ease. Yezhantian looked at Yechen and said, if it is just a younger sister, it will be fine. My nephew is fostered in our Yejiabaya. Her background is very simple. Don't feel emotional with your nephew. so that you can avoid trouble later. When I heard Yezhantian's words, Yechen's heart was a glimpse. He knew that the background of the deaf children was not simple. Although other teenagers in Yejiabao loved the children, they all respected the children. Yechen did not think too much before. First, improve the strength, and cope with the ancestor grand ceremonies after 7 days. Later, I will say later, Yechen thought. This is the body of Yuan Lei. It is the scholastic in our family martial arts. I will pass this martial art to you today. You can't use this martial art for the time being, but it will definitely help you. Martial arts are not the same, you must take care of yourself. If you encounter any problems when you practice, you can ask for the father. In these few days, you must practice hard. Yezhantian teaches to take out a book from the secret cell. Book. Yes, the baby understands. Yechen nodded. Actually, the body of Yuan Lei, the body of Yuan Lei is a family treasure. Only the people of Yezhantian and Yezhanlong can learn, even the family elder Yemoyang, never learned. The magic of Lady's sorrow is really hard to say. With ladies running Yuan Lei's body, you can expand the power of Yuan Lei's body several times or more. For the father now, even if you encounter the early 9th level master, it is also I am not afraid, and will soon break through the barriers and advance to the 9th stage. For the father's cultivation, I have been in the 8th order peak for nearly 5 years, and finally have signs of breakthrough. Yezhantian is pleased. Congratulations to my father. If I can advance to the 9th order, I will clear the locusts in Yejiabao, even if I completely break with Yunjiabao. Yezhantian thought of Yemoyang, his heart was cold. Looking back, Lei Ming's internal strength method is indeed very incomplete. There are 13 mistakes in the first weight alone. I will explain it to you one by one. For you to cultivate the first place of Lei Di, you will definitely have some help. Yezhantian patiently explained to Yechen some of the mistakes in the cultivation of Lei Ming. There are only 13 mistakes in thundering inner strength. Why did I find 35 mistakes? Is it that I am wrong? After all, the father is the master of the 8th order peak. The understanding of the cultivation method is far better than me. Yechen's brow is slightly wrinkled. Chen, what's wrong? Is there anything that can't be understood? Yezhantian saw that Yechen looked a little wrong. Baby is thinking hard. Yechen, hurry. If you are talented, if you can comprehend, you will definitely benefit from cultivation. You will break through the 5th order in 1 month and break through the 6th order in 1 year. Yezhantian said that the 13 mistakes and omissions were discovered by Yechen. The remaining 22, what is the solution? Father, thunder inside the first heavy sentence, straight to the sky. If you leave the door, no problem. Yechen asked cautiously. Nature is nothing wrong with it. Yezhantian thought for a moment. Is it really me wrong? Yechen had some doubts and felt that he was not wrong, but he was somewhat guilty and did not dare to tell his doubts. The baby went back and thought about it. After going back, we must work hard to cultivate, remember not to be lazy. The succession of the family leader is not the same. Yezhantian said. Yes. Yechen solemnly responded. When I came back from my father, there were always some incomprehensible confusion in Yechen's heart. Why were those mistakes so obvious that my father did not find out? Is it wrong to understand the cultivation method? I really can't figure it out. The understanding in my mind can't be reversed. I can only continue to cultivate. After practicing for a few hours, Lei Daijun, and reviewing the ordinary martial arts of the family, after a while, took out the body martial arts of Yuan Lei. The martial arts of Yuan Lei is created on the basis of thunder and inner strength. It is the most overbearing of many martial arts of Ye family. It is created by a stunned ancestor of Ye family, and can use thunder and inner strength when fighting. Derived the thunder body, the strength has risen sharply. Although the father's strength is only 8 orders, but relying on the body martial arts of this Yuan Lei, even some of the 9-level masters are afraid to take a nap. At the beginning, Ye Yeshan practiced the martial arts of Yuan Lei, but it took a full 3 years, and at that time his mysteriousness had reached 7 steps, and there was already enough foundation, and now Ye Chen's mysterious level is only 4 orders. He taught the body martial arts of Yuan Lei to Ye Chen. He did not expect Ye Chen to successfully cultivate Yuan Lei's body martial arts within 7 days. He just wanted Ye Chen to look at the body of Yuan Lei, and maybe he might have some feelings. There is actually the ability to derivatize the thunder, so that the body's mysterious gas speed is more than 3 times faster than usual. The ancestors who created the body martial arts of Yuan Lei really got it. Ye Chen looked at Yuan Lei's body martial arts operation internal strength. All kinds of methods seem to be realized. The most important foundation for the cultivation of Yuan Lei's body is to make the speed of Suankai greatly speed up, otherwise it will not be able to support the consumption speed of Yuan Lei's body martial arts. Ordinary people want to speed up the speed of Suankai, it is difficult to add, but Ye Chen seems to have an excellent condition, that is, as long as his mind touches the flying knife, the mystery inside the flying knife will be magnificent. And out, its speed of operation is several times faster than ordinary people. This is a law, but it can be practiced. Lei Chen, who cultivated Ye Chen, was a few times higher than the level of thunder and internal strength, and urged the body of Yuan Lei, and there was no problem at all. All the methods of Yuan Lei's body are memorized in the heart. Ye Chen's idea motivates the flying knife and runs the mysterious spirit. Only suddenly, the powerful and pure Suankai rushes out and runs along the various meridians. Fan, he sipped a low, Yuan Lei body. I only felt that the momentum of the whole body suddenly skyrocketed several times, and there was a metal-like silvery white hair in the whole body. A powerful thunder force spread all over the body, as if it had to be transparent at all times. Only after running for 3 seconds, Ye Chen felt a little exhausted. The Sin in the Danshan was exhausted, his face turned white, and he quickly stopped, holding the table with his hands and breathing with a big mouth. This Yuan Lei body is really overbearing, and while exerting the body of Yuan Lei, while exerting other martial arts, its power will at least be several times stronger. However, with Ye Chen's current mysterious level, the body of Shi Lei is too reluctant, and can only last for 3 seconds. Even if it is only 3 seconds, it is enough to make Ye Chen excited. When he knows his father's 7th order, it takes 3 years to practice Yuan Lei's body. If you want to display Yuan Lei's body in actual combat, you must maintain a few more seconds. Ye Chen thought, 3 seconds is really too short, although the mysterious air inside the flying knife is endless, but the body of Yuan Lei is running. The Suankai required must pass through Danshan. If it is not the mysterious gas provided by the flying knife, it is impossible to use the strength of the 4th order Ye Chen. Ye Chen's body can't adapt to the huge consumption of Yuan Lei's body. He sat down and absorbed the sigh of turbulence inside the flying knife. Soon, the empty Danshan was restored. Generally, if the 4th order practitioners consume the light in the darkness of Danshan, they must at least meditate for a few hours, absorb the mysterious atmosphere between the heavens and the earth, and recover. The time required for the high order is longer, and Ye Chen restores the mysteriousness. It only took a quarter of an hour. Suddenly opened his eyes, the sacred air in Danshan recovered, and you can continue to cultivate the body of Yuan Lei. This flying knife is really amazing. Ye Chen is a little excited. With the flying knife, the speed of his cultivation will be several times or even dozens of times faster than others. Yuan Lei's body. After Ye Chen I finished the body of Yuan Lei, he sat down to restore the mysterious spirit. After the restoration, he applied again and then recovered. Over and over again, with the increasing number of uses, Ye Chen felt his own arrogance within Danshan. It is much more fulfilling than before. The amount of this mysterious gas should have reached the level of the fourth order medium term, and the display time of Yuan Lei's body has also increased from the original 3 seconds to about 4 seconds. I don't know why, I have shown so many Yuan Lei's body, Ye Chen feels a little tired, but it is a spirit. Look at the time, it is already 3 days, look like this, cultivation to dawn is no problem. Yamoyang Private House. Father, Ye Chen, the kid stood up and said, what was the intention? Is it true that Ye Zhantian and his son, what is the attempt? Ye Kajian felt that the successor of the homeowner is already his own, but although excited however, he was still awake, knowing that he was not a successor before he got the family ancestor. Ye Chen's meridians are broken, it is impossible to fight with you. The rest of the people are much weaker than you. There should be no threat to you, but you should be careful. Ye Zhantian, Ye Zhanlong, and others may support one or two. A younger generation, I carefully considered it. The successor of the ancestral ceremonies was chosen. I couldn't make a mistake. In these 7 days, I will upgrade your strength to the 6th order. Yamoyang's eyes flashed a gloomy look. How can it be promoted to the 6th order within 7 days? Ye Kajian was surprised. With it, there is nothing impossible. Yamoyang smiled lightly and took out a brocade box. After opening it, I saw a red bullet in the brocade box, which exudes a pleasant fragrance. Seeing this Dan, Ye Kajian cannot help but move. Father, is this condensate Dan? Yes, it is condensate Dan. Ye Kajian took a sigh of cold air and said, it is said that a condensate Dan can exchange hundreds of gas Dan. Where did the father get this treasure? Ye Kajian is now at the 5th order peak, only one line can break through with the condensate Dan, there is indeed a great chance to advance. It is not difficult, use a paper agreement, to Yunjiabao. Yamoyang is cold and authentic. What agreement? If you get the position of Yejiabao's owner, transfer the mine in Yejiabao's back mountain to Yunjiabao. How can I get the position of the owner of Yejiabao? There is nothing impossible. When you get the position of successor, the old ghost of Ye Zhantian is inexplicably dead. According to the ancestral system, you are the owner. When I heard Yamoyang's words, Ye Kajian's heart was shocked and he was so cold and sweaty that he understood his father's plan. You must not live up to the hope of the father. Yamoyang looked at Ye Kajian. Baby understands. Ye Kajian squatted and slammed heavily. After taking over the condensate Dan from Yamoyang's hand, Ye Kajian looked up and licked and swallowed the medicinal herbs. In the dead of night, Ye Chen's cabin is still swaying. He is still working tirelessly to cultivate the body of Lei Daijun and Yuan Lei. In addition, he has trained the other 2 martial arts to the point of perfection. Although there is only the 4th order medium-term strength, Ye Chen believes with the degree of concealing of his own body and the proficiency of the 3 martial arts, he met the master of the 5th order of Suankai, and he should be able to work with one of them. Because the body's mysteriousness is not the same as the world's mysteriousness, Ye Chen is not clear, how strong is his strength. At this time, there is no way to find other people to learn from. Before the ancestors' ceremony, he can't let Yamoyang know his own. The meridians have healed. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation. 9 Astra Skies Chapter 10, Festival of the Ancestors, recommended. The Emperor Lidi was constantly practicing. On the 6th day, Ye Chen broke through the 4th order barrier again, and the Suankai level reached the 5th order level. I finally reached the 5th stage. Ye Chen ran a bit of the mysterious body in the body, and Suankai was thick and strong several times. This made him quite excited. With the 5th order sacred level, he could actually put the body of Yuan Lei. State, maintained for 10 seconds. Ye Kajian is currently only the level of the 5th order peak, with the mysterious quality of his body, plus the family secrets of Yuan Lei, I think I should be able to defeat Ye Kajian. In the 5th order, it is not bad in the whole family. Among the thousands of Yejiabayo people, there are only 200 people who can reach the fifth order. These 200 people are the pillars of the family. If you can reach the sixth order before the age of 18, then there is hope that you will go one step further. If you fail to reach the sixth order before the age of 18, the meridians will harden and it will be difficult to impact the higher level. After being baptized by the Suankai in the flying knife, Ye Chen's body has reached the pure yang environment, which is very suitable for martial arts. Naturally, don't worry about this. After the fifth order, the speed of Suankai's condensing slowed down, but the cultivation of this kind of thing is also urgent. Ye Chen can only slowly cultivate, while constantly practicing the body of Yuan Lei and the collapse of thunder and trespassing. 2. Martial arts. Although the strength has been greatly improved, Ye Chen is not proud at all, and he is still practicing without any slack. The 3 years of the meridians have already tempered his heart very calmly. During this time, Yejiabayo was full of busy scenes. The ethnic groups were preparing for the ancestral rituals. Although Yejiabayo is now extremely embarrassed, the ancestral rituals cannot be saved. Those who are responsible for managing the family business are also returning to Yejiabayo, including Ye Chen's 2 brothers. Both of Ye Chen's 2 brothers failed to reach the 6th stage before the age of 18, only staying at the stage of the 5th order peak, and were sent outside to manage some of the family's industries. They wanted to see Ye Chen, but they were all stopped by Ye Zhantian. At this time, they did not know that the Yuchen meridians had been restored. Before the ancestral ceremonies, the news of the recovery of the Yuchen meridians must be kept secret. People know the better. Knowing that the successor family will be selected, all the teenagers who are eligible to participate will also step up their cultivation, hoping to make a blockbuster in the ancestral ceremonies. Yejiabayo has been busy for a long time, and finally ushered in the 5-year ancestral grand ceremony for Yejiabayo. In the central square, the head was swaying, and the middle of the place was set up with a huge altar. More than a dozen ethnic groups were killing pigs and slaughtering sheep, preparing to sacrifice their ancestors. Ye Zhantian and others also settled on the edge of the altar. There are 16 positions on the edge of the altar. Sitting on 15 people, 2 8th orders, and 13 7 steps are the pillars of the whole family. The most central location is empty. Ye Chen and other juniors stood behind Ye Zhantian and other people's seats. 3 brothers, how is the body recently? The speaker is Yemu, the second brother of Ye Chen. Yemu was 5 years older than Ye Chen. He was not promoted to the 6th order before the age of 18. He was sent by Ye Zhantian to Donglan County to manage Yejia's grocery store. After practicing these years, Yemu's temperament be free and easy, don't have a style. When Yemui came back, he wanted to visit Ye Chen, but he never saw Ye Chen's face. At this time, he looked at Ye Chen and his eyes were full of concern. Upon hearing the words of Yemu's concern, Ye Chen's heart warmed and nodded, it's a lot better. I will know that any setbacks are hard to beat the 3 brothers, this is what the big brother and the second brother brought to you. Ye Peng, who is on the side, took Ye Chen and sneaked a box to Ye Chen. He is the 3 brothers. In the boss, the temper is the most honest and steady, and the younger brothers have always taken care of them. Ye Chen refused to take a look, but still did not push it off, opened the box and looked at it, it is 2 gas gathering den. Ye Peng and Yemu are outside, and their income is not much. After a whole year of frugality, they can afford 2 gas gatherings. Ye Chen's heart was sour and sorrowful. Although these 2 brothers did not come back often, they were very concerned about him. Big brother, I am not using it now. How can I not use it? You have to consume so much gas every month. It is your own brother, don't be polite with your big brother. Ye Peng seriously. Ye Chen really wants to tell 2 big brothers at this time, his meridians have been restored, but people are mixed, and I don't know what to say. The care of the 2 brothers, Let Yechen feel the true brotherhood. Looking at the palm of the hand, Yechen silent for a moment, put the box into his arms, close to hide. In the eyes of Yechen, they are not just two gas-gathering den. The patriarch, the old patriarch is coming. A tribe flew up and was full of excitement. 6 uncles finally came. Ye Zhantian smiled slightly, and everyone stood up and looked down at the altar. I saw that the tribes had retreated to both sides, one who had to be white, but who was full of energy and was wearing a grey robe. The dragon walked all the way. Old patriarch is good. Old patriarch is good. The people on both sides are excited. The old patriarch Yekongshian is undoubtedly the existence of the gods in their hearts. The ninth order master, that is the top-level existence of Yejiabao, is the guardian power of the family. If there is no such thing as the old patriarch, deterrence is in place. Yejiabao alone relies on Ye Zhantian and others, and it is also unstoppable, and it must have been swallowed up very early. 1 or 2 sentences can't express the people's respect for Ye Kangxian. 6 Uncle. Ye Zhantian and others have bent over. Ye Kangxian waved his hand and smiled heartily. I haven't returned to Yejia Fort for a long time. I saw that the tribes are still the same, and the old ones are relieved, so they will be exempt from these customs. Seeing the uncle's physical health, the boys are also relieved. Ye Zhantian in front of Ye Kangxian, can only claim to be a kid. 6 Uncle, you come back from afar, you will not bring gifts to your nephew. Ye Zhanlong smiled and said that he was closest to Ye Kangxian, and others did not dare to talk to Ye Kangxian. Nature will not lose yours. Ye Kangxian laughed and threw a box to Ye Zhanlong. Ye Zhanlong opened the brocade box, and a strange fragrance floated out. His eyebrows trembled, revealing the color of excitement, and quickly collected things. Xie Liashu. Ye Moyang on the side just glanced at it, and there was an impulse to vomit blood. Ye Kangxian gave Ye Zhanlong, it was actually a condensate dan, to know that he had a hard time from Yunjiabao. Condensed dan, Ye Kangxian actually gave Ye Zhanlong a hand. Ye Kangxian loved Ye Zhanlong even more than his own son, and other people present dare not ask Ye Kangxian for something. I have prepared some things for each of you, and people will send them to you at that time. Ye Kangsuandeo, to other people, naturally did not give Ye Zhanlong something precious. But others don't dare to say anything. They have been narrating for a moment and they have been seated. Just as everyone talked, the following celebrations have already begun: dancing dragons and lions, firecrackers, and no fun. In the past 5 years when I was not there, Yejiabao was a bit of a depression. Is there a strong enemy? Ye Kangxian looked at Ye Zhantian next to him and asked. Ye Moyang's mouth slightly pulled out a smile, and finally came to the point. 3 years ago, Ye Chen was attacked and the meridians were broken. Ye Zhantian was somewhat awkward. We are worried that we will affect the practice of the 6 uncles, so we have never said anything. Ye Kangxian suddenly broke out with a powerful momentum, and he was furious and screamed. He asked, who did you do? 5 years ago, he used the mysterious gas to explore the meridians of Ye Chen, and Ye Chen was among the juniors. The best talent, the most opportunity to impact the ninth order, the family's future prosperity, will fall on the shoulders of Ye Chen, but Ye Chen was actually attacked by people. This is tantamount to breaking the future of Ye family. Not yet determined. Ye Zhantiandeo. If the old man knows what the people are doing, the old man will have to ask them a statement. Ye Kangxian Shen Shen, asked Ye Zhantian, I don't know Ye Chen's child, how is it now? Ye Zhantian is about to talk, Ye Moyang suddenly interjected, Ye Chen was rescued when the meridians were broken. 3 years ago, the patriarch ordered, and the power of the whole family was used to treat the disease. Between the years, Yejiabao's industry went to 5 or 6, so the 6 uncles came in and Yejiabao was in a depression. Hearing Ye Moyang said that Ye Zhanlong, Ye Zhanxiang, and others are all unhappy. Ye Moyang clearly wants to use the hand of the old patriarch to ask Ye Zhantian for sin. But we can't ignore the life and death of Chen Er, let go. Ye Zhanlong said. Ye Kangxian looked at Ye Moyang faintly and asked, if you are a patriarch and encounter the same thing, what would you do? When Ye Moyang heard Ye Kangxuan's words, his heart jumped. If he gave him the position of the patriarch, Ye Jiabao would not fall to this day. He said, how can personal superiority over the family interests? Ye Kangxian faintly said, I didn't give you the position of the patriarch, but it is this reason. What is the private situation, what is the family interest? What is the clan? If the clan cannot provide shelter to the tribe, even the tribes do not care, then what is the use of the clan? If there is a person with a foreign surname, bullying me the Ye family, when I am fully committed to it, even if I die, there is no regret. If there is a person in the family, it hurts the sick, even if it is a family. Wealth, poverty, and dedication, we must also be treated. This is the patriarch of Ye family, the backbone of the family. Even if the war is retired, Yejia's next patriarch is also true. Ye Moyang's face turned red, and he wanted to argue, but his mouth moved, but he did not say anything. Ye Chen stood among the younger generations. Ye Kangxuan's words made Ye Chen's eyes a little moist. From today, he has a strong respect for this long-lost uncle, think about it in the weekdays. Uncle, many brothers are good to themselves, Ye Chen secretly remembers the 2 words of the clan. Old patriarchs, before the ancestors, the younger generation will hold a contest, select the successor patriarch. Will it start now? Asked a group of people next to him. Ye Kangxian sighed a sigh. Since Ye Chen's meridians have been broken, it's already irreparable. It's only a matter of counting. If you look at the younger generation, can you have a big gimmick? This Ye Jiabao wants to be in troubled times. In the midst of survival, some people still have to stand up. The news that Ye Zhangsheng's daughter, Ye Hao, got the qualification for King Yunzong's entry is still very gratifying. He waved his hand, get started. The first day is 10, the new book needs everyone to recommend support. The subsequent updates are divided into 3 periods, 6 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 12 in the evening. Each time point will be updated with a chapter, and occasionally 2 chapters will be updated. www.ptwxz.com. Thank you for your support. Your support is our greatest motivation.